Cops of Reddit, what's the most bullshit sounding excuse you got that actually turned out to be true? I was driving with my fianc, and we went through a roadblock where they checked registration and shit, and we get to the cops and they ask for our registration. I'm sitting in the passenger seat, so I open up the glove box and right there is a clear, unmarked baggie filled to the brim with catnip. I completely forgot it was there and just froze. Wide-eyed, I turned to look at the cop shining his light through my open window and he's frozen too, just staring at the baggie with this look on his face like really? I just started immediately professing OMG I swear to god this is catnip, you can take it, and smell it, or test it, or whatever like I swear. And at this point it's just so ridiculous, that I start cracking up, and the cop takes it, and reasonably deduces him telling the truth, and he starts laughing, and calls his partner over, and tells her what happened, and they both just cackled away for a minute, and sent us on our way. Not a cop, but I did get stopped by one for eating a taco. I worked at a community college in LA that had a high school right next to it. Well, there was a lot of drugs sold through the fence at the high school, so there was always a cops driving up and down the street between the schools. Couldn't get a parking pass since I just worked at the school, so I always parked on that street. Hit up Taco Bell for lunch and was sitting in my car eating my double-decker tacos when a cop drove past. Next thing I know he's flipping a U-turn and heading right for me. He slides to a stop driver window to driver window and yells at what the hell do you think you're doing? Stunned I just said eating my lunch. Well he isn't buying it and says I'm hiding something. I just hold up my taco and looked so confused. He burst out laughing and peeled out. Saw him a few times after that and he always waved and had the biggest grin on his face. Mid-July in like 2008, young kid going 93 in a 55. I swing and he immediately pulls over. Approaching the car, his first words, before I can even start speaking, my dog died, he hung himself. I gotta get back before my mom gets home. What point JPG anyway, he calls other family members, his aunt, uncle and 2 cousins come out to the stop, and between all their sobbing, they verify that the dog had actually hopped over the fence on a leash/runner and couldn't get back over. Everyone's crying now. They showed me a photo on their phone. Apparently they found the dog and called the kid at work and he just left. I didn't even bother verifying further than that. Cousin drove the kid's car back so they could take care of the dog and prepare for mom. Some said that I should have wrote him, but losing an animal sucks enough. He knew he fucked up and adding financial burden to him wasn't going to help him or me. I used to work as a military police officer. I was working at the main gate one night and this guy tried to come on base, but he didn't have any ID other than a driver's license, so I couldn't let him on. The guy told me that a general said he could come on, but he didn't have any proof of that, and he didn't know what the general's name was. It was also super late at night and he didn't seem to have any answers that would help us identify who he was. Long story short, the dude ended up being legit and was coming on base to be awarded a Silver Star the next day from that general. I went to a disturbance at a backyard BBQ once. Turns out it was a bunch of Roma gypsies. As I was trying to figure out what was going on I had some old lady approach me and want to talk to me off to the side. She told me she was an informant for the FBI and that if I left, she would be able to get some information on a matter the FBI was interested in. I rolled my eyes and thanked her and said I would be out of there as soon as I could make sure there was no violence going on. Anyway, I determined it was just verbal, so I cleared the call and went back in service. About 15 to 30 minutes later dispatch radioed me to head back to the station. I got there and got a message to call some FBI field office and ask for a certain agent. I called and sure as shit this agent said he understood I spoke with his informant and wanted to know everything she told me. Blew my mind. Me and a friend had the cops called on us for crawling in our friend's window. He was in the bathroom, so he couldn't unlock the door, but the porch window happened to be unlocked, so we found our way in. As I was crawling in, I saw a car parked across the street with someone in it and remarked that it must look like we're breaking in. 5 minutes later I hear a knock at the door, open it, and, upon seeing a police officer, yelled back into the house, "Hey, Jimmy, the cops are here." We explained the situation to the cop while we waited for our friend to get out of the bathroom, but I'm not sure he bought it, even after Jimmy came out laughing. He gave Jimmy a serious look and asked, "Do you know these individuals? Like, why would someone be all calm and laughing if two strangers had broken into their house?" I can't speak for the cop, but freshman year of college I was having a nice evening outside, drinking some soda and smoking a tobacco pipe with my 3 roommates, long-term friends I grew up with, when one went into the dorm. He called me a minute later and said, "Come back to the dorm, police are here and they are looking for you." I'm on my way over and they see me and run up to me in case I were to run. They ask my name and if I was here all night. I confirmed both my name and that I was at the dorm all evening. Apparently, another freshman guy my age, built, and height signed in under my name for an intramural flag football game, got into a tussle with an opposing team member, punched him and broke his jaw. He was last seen fleeing our direction. I'm sure my excuse sounded completely bogus, but it was the truth. Please subscribe for more Reddit bunch.